You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're going to be talking about paying it forward. So we've all gone through a hardship, a challenge, right? And we've muscled through it, we survived it. And then later on, when we're out of it, we're going to see other people go through the same hardship or a similar challenge. And we want to be able to pay it forward. We want to be able to take the knowledge that we learn and make somebody else's journey easier. So I want you to kind of consider in your life, who do you see struggling that you could help out? Just give them some insights that could turn them in a different positive direction or just be there of support for them. That is what we're focusing on today's show. Also coming up in our next segment, we have our inspirational guest, Danny Murillo, who really has paid it forward after being incarcerated. He went forward into helping other people who have also been in prison to get an education and know that their life could be so much more. So he too is paying it forward as he lives full out. Now, if you want to hear today's show again, I just invite you to go to livingfullout.com. All of our episodes are waiting there for you. Also, we have the Living Full Out 24-hour station, right? So you can just jump on your app store and get Living Full Out Radio and listen at the gym or in your car or wherever you want to be. But we want to make sure that you're continually empowered every day as you strive to live full out. And most of all, it's important that every day that we try to bring as much balance into our life as possible. I know I'm raising my hand because it's hard, right? The to-do list goes on and on and on. But I want to make sure that you go to livingfullout.com and right on our homepage, it's free. We have an 80 tips guide to bringing balance to your life. And that's my gift to you. Grab it so that you can get some relief on those really hard days. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling.
Awesome. I have a little bit of a dilemma. So me and my boyfriend and I, have been in a long-distance relationship for the past 4 years, been together 5 years, getting stronger every day. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary.
Woohoo!
And thank you. And next year, because I do athletics, so plans go to Worlds, go to the Olympics, and I don't know whether to take my journey to Texas and be with him because he doesn't finish school until May 2021, or do I stay with the resources that I know and that are familiar with me in Iowa? And I'm just not sure what to do. I just feel kind of torn between, like, do I stay or do I go after next year? I'm just not really sure how to approach the idea.
Really good question. So, here's the thing about love. Love is like a diamond. It's precious, it's rare, it takes time, but it's beautiful, right? But there's also this saying that, and it's not like you're setting him free, but if you set it free, and if it comes back to you, it's yours, right? The thing is true love will weather the storm. It will stay together through distance. What cannot always be duplicated are resources to get you to where you need to go. So in your case, if your resources are a trainer, a coach, a facility that you work out at, if you go to Texas and you don't find those same resources or support, that might hinder your ability to perform at the level you want. What you might be worried about at that point is resentment towards him down the line, right? Because what if you go there, the love could be strong either way, whether he's in Texas and you are where you are, the love doesn't change. But if you physically move and your resources aren't the same, then you might get frustrated, and that might not be so good for the relationship. However, life is about taking a risk, right? So maybe it's worth going to Texas and evaluating what would be a similar facility. Who would be my coach? Is that person someone I gel with? If the answer is yes, then hey, you got two pros in Texas, a facility, a coach, a gym, and your love, right? But if you go and you evaluate and you find that, no, the same resources are not there, then I would keep things as they are, just because, again, the love is going to stay and be consistent, and maybe when he graduates, he can come where you are, or, join you around the world on your endeavors, right? But the thing is, really getting support is important. And that's true in your case, or somebody who might have a child with a learning disability, having the right teachers in play, right? Resources are critical to us living full out. Does that help?
Right. Yes, it does. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Love that she asked that question, right? Because sometimes it is a dilemma. Do I move? Do I not move? Do I change a career? Will something better be there? Life is about making calculated decisions. And it's not like any decision is wrong, but you do have to evaluate. If I leap to another place, is what I hope is there actually there? Don't just leap on a hope, right? Go there, do your research, do your due diligence, so that when you make a move, you're doing it confidently. Yes, I'm excited for the experience. I know what's waiting for me, okay? I'm a firm believer in that. Now, we're getting word from our producer that we have another caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show. Hi, thank you for calling in. How can we help you?
Yeah, I have a question for you today.
Yes, what's going on?
What are some of the things I can do to help me pursue my happiness?
What does make you happy? What does happiness look like to you?
Well, happiness is having peace of mind to me, to be able to handle life on life's terms, and be happy in pursuing that. So I'm looking for some ways that can help me with that.
So here's what I suggest, and I walk my walk, I talk my talk, right? This is what I do. Okay, I look at the different areas of my life where I feel, consider it like a bank account, right? You go to the bank and you deposit money into it, right? And you see your savings go up and up and up, and you feel really good, right? Then you make a withdrawal, right? And you see your bank account go down, down, down. So the thing is in life, we have to put deposits in just as much as we take withdrawals. That is what gives us that peace of mind, is that balance. So what I want you to consider is, in your life, let's just say it's career, it's work, it's the money flow, right? You want to figure out, okay, what do I need to make a month to feel comfortable? What do I want to do for a living where I feel like I'm on purpose? And so if you can do that, then you're able to live full out in a big way. So the biggest thing I want you to think about is, in career, in work, where do you need that balance? In your relationships, have you let some relationships go that you think about often and you'd like to get them back on track? If so, let's do that. Let's call them up, send them an email, send them a text, and just, even if they don't respond, at least you tried. The point of life is you want to get out of the gray zone, the zone of what if, or I wish I could, or woulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? And you just want to be as intentional as you can every day. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Just do your best.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things I wrote down here. Is be in my thinking is to try to be intentional. Don't try. Be intentional with what you're acting.
You and I are on the same page. And if you do that, if every day you do your best, and you're intentional, and you're moving the ball forward, right, on different aspects of your life, then I think you will sleep more peacefully. I think you will leap out of bed with some more vigor, because you know that you're living full out, okay? But I really appreciate you calling in, because I think it's a super important question, okay? And I'm going to wish you all the happiness. Yes.
what you're talking about really is that true balance. Really find a true balance.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier today, I want you to go to livingfullout.com because we have an 80 tips for balance in your life, a super helpful guide. So I want you to go there and download that. I think it will help you a lot. But thank you so much for calling in. And for everybody listening, also so many great questions, right? It's about paying it forward. It's about cracking that code so that you can live full out. You can achieve balance in your life. Now stay with us. We're going to be coming up with Danny Murillo, who's going to share with us his journey to finding happiness, to paying it forward, to living full out in the best way he can. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about paying it forward. And I really want you to look for those opportunities in your life where you can say, okay, I've cracked the code, or I've learned something, and I want to make somebody else's life easier. I want to educate them. I want to inspire them. Because it's not about getting to that mountain by ourselves and being like, yay, I made my dreams happen. You want all your friends and all your family with you, and you want everybody to be happy, everybody to achieve what it is that they're going for. So our inspirational guest today, we brought you a winner. Okay, Danny Murillo. Okay, he he made some decisions that were not the best in his early years. And yes, he did get incarcerated, but you know what? He came out a diamond. He really grew as a man when he was in prison and was able to pay it forward. And I don't want to give it all away, but he's a shining example today of really what it means to live full out. So I'd like to welcome Danny to the show.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Happy to be here.
Well, happy to have you. And I want to take our audience back a bit, right? Because you grew up, you had 5 siblings and your parents, and although your family was originally from Mexico, you guys lived in kind of a rough neighborhood. But amongst that rough neighborhood, your family actually was fairly well off because your dad worked hard. But you actually had to deal early on with this balance of being bullied, you know? I mean, yes, you had some nice things, but you lived kind of in this toxic neighborhood. How did you weather that storm?
I think it wasn't just growing up in a toxic neighborhood, but also growing up in a home that was impacted by domestic violence. So, and also, it wasn't just in the community, but it was also within the school system, right? The way I was treated and the way I was looked at, right, really left an impact on me and the way I looked at myself. And I really had a very my perspective of myself was one where I devalued myself, right, and my own humanity, right. So it definitely left an impact on me as a young boy, and something that I carried on with me as I got older.
Do you think that you were more vulnerable in that state of mind? You know, I know you joined your first gang early on, like beginning of high school. Do you think that, you know, you were kind of easy pickings because they knew or they could tell that you were unsatisfied at home?
It wasn't something where I was sought at, but it was something more that I sought, right? As probably it could have been something that I wanted to replace that wasn't working within my own ecosystem, right? And that was the relationship that I had within my own family, right? So it was probably more me looking for something that I thought was going to replace what I did, or pretty much replace what I didn't have, right? Which was a family.
Yeah. And so when people think of gangs, they think of everything dangerous. And yes, there is that part of it, but you actually found comrades, right? You found people that had your back for the first time, maybe.
Yes, and it's also a place where we were all going through something similar, right? Whether it was our homes were being impacted by whether it's domestic violence, whether it's gang violence, drug addiction, things that come with poverty and what we call state violence, right? And so recognizing that these things impact us, right, we knew that we didn't know how to articulate it, but we were coming from places that no hope was being offered or provided, right? And so when young people lack that emotional and how can I say that companionship or that love that comes from a family, we end up going out to different places looking for it, and we found it among ourselves.
Right.
And it turns out that we're just a bunch of hurt kids who ended up perpetuating the same hurt that was committed towards us.
Yeah, and I know for you, it was really a lot of being at the wrong place at the wrong time, right? Being arrested at 8, and it was a misunderstanding, but yet nevertheless, you were still brought down to the station. And then, even in your early teens, various reasons you were arrested or given citations. And, as you started kind of building this rap sheet or having this history, were you proud of it? Were you not proud of it?
It got to a point where it was something that I did take pride in, right? I remember the first time I got arrested when I was 8 years old, as you mentioned, right? I was scared. I remember when I was taken home and all my friends came to the house, they're like, "Oh, you have a record now. You're not going to be able to get a job. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be this. You're going to be that." I was scared at 8 years old. I was terrified. But as I got older and I started getting more exposed to to policing in my community and in schools, it was something that became normal, right? Like I've had so many friends in my community that have been either incarcerated or are serving time, have been on probation or parole. It was something that became normal, that I would see on an everyday basis in my community. So it wasn't something that I was in fear of anymore.
You were actually kind of fitting in, right? For the first time, you felt like you were fitting in. You felt like you were amongst your peers, not bullied.
Yeah. But, it was unaware that we were causing harm to ourselves, right? We think that living a certain way is just something that, what we do, or we think that's just the way of life, but it's really not. We're engaging in very abnormal behavior that contradicts who we're supposed to be as human beings, right? And so, but as kids, we don't understand that.
Yeah.
We just know that we're hurt and we're full of rage, right? And we don't know how to express that, right? And that's, now is learning how do I channel my emotions in a positive way.
Yeah, and I know for you, obviously these different citations, different arrests, they continue to escalate until you were 16 and you really got hit with a whopper. What were you hit with at that point in terms of your arrests?
Yeah, I was arrested, charged, and convicted for 2 armed robberies with the use of a firearm, and I ended up taking a plea bargain. After about 2 years of litigating the case, I took a plea bargain around, I think I was like about 17 and a half. I took a plea bargain at that age for 15 years.
Wow.
15 years.
Danny, when we come back, because we have to go to a break, I want to come right back to this point because I want everybody really to soak this up. He's 17 and a half, knowing that he's going to go to prison for 14 years. That is an amazing amount of time. And so I want to come back after this break, Danny. Stay with us. And for everybody listening today, we are talking about paying it forward. We have to sometimes go through the yucky times in our life, those hardships, those times that we're scared, our backs against the wall. But if you can actually harness the lesson, pay that forward, now your life is full of purpose and meaning, and you are living full out. So stay with us. We'll be coming right back with Danny Murillo. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way with just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show. I am excited to let you know that we are now associated with Alexa. If you have Alexa in your house and you didn't know that, go ahead and find Living Full Out because you can hear us anytime you want, and we're there for you to keep you motivated. Go to your app store because we're located there as well. Just look for the Living Full Out radio show. It's important to us that we put out really inspiring programming, but we want to make sure that you have it at your fingertips when you need us most. We never know when those challenges are going to come, when we're going to feel lonely and need that motivation. So just know that when you need us, we're here for you. Check out Alexa, the app stores, or go to livingfullout.com. Here's to you living full out.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about paying it forward. And I hope that over the course of this show, you find a lesson, a light that you've come across in your life, and you can shine that light over to somebody else to make it brighter, their future, their journey. Now, our inspirational guest today, Danny Murillo, is no stranger to paying it forward because he really went through it with multiple arrests and citations, throughout his teenage years, even as young as 8 years old, dealing with a toxic, environment in his neighborhood as well as his home with domestic violence and, just trying to find his way as a young man, but then ultimately finding his way to being incarcerated. So I'd like to invite Danny back to the show. Danny, welcome. Danny, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, can you explain to our guests again, when you were 16, now all your charges, different arrests, different citations here and there were starting to kind of, get more and more intense. But at 16, explain the charges that you were given.
Right. 2 armed robberies with the use of a firearm or possession of a firearm and while the crime was being committed. And then also a carjacking and an adult napping. Those charges were dropped, and I was convicted of the 2 armed robberies and the use of a firearm.
Now, you were looking, you plead out and you were looking at, 14 years. But there was a friend of yours. You didn't just do all this by yourself, right? There were about 4 of you. But one of your friends kind of took one for the team. And it was that choice that person made that really changed the trajectory of your life. What happened there?
Well, we had the opportunity to take the case to trial and take our chances with a jury and hope that they would see some of the circumstances of the case to why it wasn't what they claimed it to be, at least the district attorney. But we also had the chance that if we get convicted, we're looking at 75 years to life. And so there was that chance. Do we go to trial and run the risk of getting sentenced 75 years to life? Or do we take a plea bargain? The plea bargain was that me and 2 other individuals receive a 15-year sentence, while the 4th person had to take a 25-year to life sentence because of a prior conviction, which resulted in a 3 strikes or a 3rd felony. Mm-hmm. And so he made the choice to take that plea bargain. At that point, it didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand, the impact of his decision on my life. I was kind of living my life thinking that I was going to spend the rest of my life in prison at that point.
Yeah. But it's amazing how somebody can make a decision that can positively influence another. And I know that, you had good days and bad days in prison, right? But 7 of your 14 years, you were in solitary confinement by yourself. And there were moments where you really had to ask yourself, what am I going to do with this opportunity? How did you process, this 14 years will come and go, and then what am I going to be then?
Right. So I ended up serving 15 years of the 14 years of a 15-year sentence, and of those 14 years, I did spend 7 in solitary confinement. Mm-hmm. In spite of what solitary confinement is supposed to do to the mind, body, and spirit of the person that's in there, in spite of that, I was in a place with individuals that seen something in me that I failed to see in myself, and that was my own humanity. And I think it was the spaces that I was in and the people around me that really influenced who I ended up becoming. Most of the people that were around me were serving life, and I was in there knowing that I was going to go home in maybe 7, 5, 6, years, and people really encouraged me to, they weren't telling me what to do with my life, but just trying to figure out something to do with my life so that I don't end up in prison, right? And And so, as I reflect back, I think it was being able to put myself in other people's shoes, right, that really allowed me to transform the way I thought, right? And 2 of those people was, one, my mother, and everything that I put through, and the other person was my friend who took a plea bargain for 25 years, and realizing that he took that plea bargain so that I can have another shot of coming home. And what am I going to do with that? Am I going to let it go to waste, or am I going to do something with it that's not only going to impact me, my family, but also my community?
It's interesting because your friend who took that deal and paid it forward so that you had a chance to go have a life, and then all the other inmates who were in there for life and they wanted to pay it forward and give you guidance, not telling you what to do, but you have a shot here, go do good things. That's what we're talking about today, is just giving someone a little bit of insight, a little bit of inspiration to know that their life can be better, can be stronger, can be different. And I know that you actually started your journey with getting an education in prison, but then you got released.
Yes.
And actually, you were grateful for the fact that you didn't complete that in prison. Why?
Yeah, I started my educational journey in terms of going back to school, not necessarily just educating myself, but going back to school and in terms of the school system with my GED in solitary confinement. And it was in solitary confinement that my neighbor would help me with my algebraic equations, with my math homework. And, so it was really people around me that supported me. Once I was done with my GED, I started to pursue a college education. At first, I was just taking one class at a time. And I met another individual who was taking 4 or 5 classes a semester. He was doing a paralegal degree. He would draw, play chess, all in one day. And he really encouraged me to pursue much more than just one class per semester and to pursue my AA degree. So before I came home, I decided to pursue my Associate of Arts degree in general studies or general education. And unfortunately, I ended up coming home. But it ended up being a good thing because when I came home, I didn't really have a plan in terms of what I was going to do. My plan was to come home with the AA degree and then start volunteering at a community center or a nonprofit and hopefully get hired in a place where they're working with formerly incarcerated people or with, kids that are being impacted by, school to prison pipeline. And so I decided to just go to college, return to college. I went to Cerritos College in Norwalk, California, because that's where my mother lives, and my parents lived in Norwalk, California. And my parents lived about 15 minutes walking from the campus. I've always remembered the campus from when I was a kid, right? And I decided to at least, pursue higher education and pursue my AA degree and figure out what I was going to do as I was being a student, right? I'll figure out what's going to be my next move in terms of my career or professional goals. And it was really the community college became my sanctuary.
Yeah, I can see that. And the thing is that's interesting is with all those toxic people, environment and everything, how did you not? I mean, obviously you now had your education, but I bet there were a lot of people that were waiting for the old Danny to come back. How did you kind of push back on that and tell people, hey, I'm a new me?
Surprisingly so, not that many people came to me thinking that I was the old me. Once they had a conversation with me and realized what I was trying to do, people were like, yeah, you know what? I could see you doing that, Danny. I could see you doing that. I'm surprised you didn't do this when you were younger.
Wow.
But you've always been someone that was capable of doing things if you put your mind to it.
That must have been a tickle in your stomach moment that, only you could see how tall you had grown, how big you had grown just as a person, as a man, because now people were rooting for you to be successful. And I just have 1 minute left here, but I know that you now have started a foundation that helps people. What is that called?
Yeah, we have I'm one of the co-founders of Berkeley Underground Scholars, which is an organization that helps formerly incarcerated students continue their education and also currently incarcerated students.
And you know why that's so important, Danny? I wanted you to get that out is because today we're talking about paying it forward. You had to go through a lot of stuff, a lot of pain, stress, risk, arrest, you name it, right? But look at who you've become today. And that is such inspiration to know that, we can go as far as being imprisoned and still be able to come out and enjoy the freedoms of starting a foundation and living life full out. So I very much thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you very much. And just know that our past doesn't determine our future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Danny, for sharing your story. And for everybody listening, we would love to hear from you. I mean, Danny is a shining example of how he paid it forward. He came out the other end, but we all have a story to share. And so feel free to reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Just send us an email. Let us know what you've gone through and what you've learned. And perhaps we can have you on the show as an inspirational guest. And again, Danny has shared his story, and I applaud that because when we know better, we do better, right? And we're able to kind of align ourselves with people that will support us, which is what he did, not only in prison, but outside of prison now. So you have that same ability. So stay with us. We're going to be coming right back. It's all about paying it forward in life as we live full out. And I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're going to jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9", booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Have you ever lost a cat? And have you ever wanted to get your cat back after you lost it? I'm Andrew Hoffman. I invented the Lost Cat Magnet. Just turn it on and lost cats stick to it. Just listen to one satisfied cat. That's proof. You should invent stuff too. But remember, don't do a lost cat magnet.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We're your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet.
Enroll, we say, we want you to be okay. Enroll, we say, take care, people, for goodness sake.
Health insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
When it comes to paying it forward, you want to think about, okay, how have I survived in life? what have I learned? And then you want to open your eyes wide and listen really intentionally to see who may need that inspiration, that support that you've gained, that you've learned. And then just give little nuggets of wisdom as you can so that they can live full out in life.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
I appreciate all of you very much for being with us today and listening to this show. I just think the topic is really important, paying it forward. I find it personally important in my life. I know I've gone through a whole layer of challenges, and we all have. And we just don't want to look back on those and feel like they were just bruises, but we want to be able to stand up and say, you know what? This happened in my life, but it's not going to dictate, it's not going to label me, it's not going to influence who I can be. Sometimes you have to push back at life and say, take your power back. And that is what it means to live full out. And that's how you boost your confidence over time. But that is why we are here for you, to be there. We want to catch you when you're having a hard day. We want to give you those insights that you need just to kind of look at the hardship a little bit differently. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, thanks for calling in. How can I help you today?
Hi, this is Amber, and I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So I'm at a point in my life where it's my senior year, and it's my senior year of college, actually. And I'm very excited, but I'm also kind of stressed out, too. And I'm at a point where I want to just isolate myself from everyone and just focus on myself and my goals. So how do I tell my friends that without making it seem like I don't want to be around them and hurt their feelings?
Oh, I love this question. Love it, love it, love it. Because I don't think isolation is a bad thing. Don't make it like a lifetime isolation, right? But make it like a month, make it like a couple weeks. And in fact, I just did this myself. I wanted to dedicate on losing some weight and getting in shape and working on work and learning guitar. And I too had to take a break from all my social activities. So I get it. Here's the thing. People want to make sure that they're not, number one, forgotten. People want to feel heard. So as long as you can achieve that, then take all the time you need. Now, the good news is we have a lot of communication methods, right? So one thing you might do for those friends that you typically have seen on a more regular basis, set a plan. Say, you know what? In 1 month, let's all get together. But give me a month. Okay, I'm going to unplug for a month. Give me 2 months. But they just want to know that there's something on the calendar where they're going to get some Amber, right? Because they're going to miss Amber. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, when you're unplugging and you maybe don't want to be on the phone as much, the power of a text message. Just send somebody a text message and let them know that you're thinking of them. And, hey, I can't wait to see you in a month, right? That goes a long way in making that feel like they haven't heard from you in a long, long time. Same with an email. Send them a quick message or an e-card. Say, I know I'm busy, I know I'm unplugging, but can't wait to see you in a month or 2 months. Do you see what I'm saying? And for everybody who's listening, maybe the reason why you aren't seeing people is financial, going out. Maybe it's because you have commitments and you have responsibilities that don't allow you to go out and have the freedoms of other people. I love the phone. Pick up the phone, have a 10-minute conversation, a half an hour conversation, the same things that you would truly do in person at a happy hour, at a restaurant. You can achieve that by phone. You're kind of missing out on the hug, right? And the holding of hands, but you can really chat it out. You can keep bonds strong without having to overcommit. Is that something you've considered?
Yes, I did consider that.
Okay, so 1 month, 2 months, how long in this isolation period?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay, well, the sooner you figure that out, the sooner that you can quiet the noise of other people. They're just looking for that, when will I see Amber? Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Take all the time you need. 6 months. See you in 6 months. People just want to know, they want, you're like a vacation, right? They're like going on vacation when they're going out with Amber. They just want to know when vacation's coming. Okay? So it's a good thing that people want to see you and be with you, but just give them something to shoot for. But thank you so much for calling in, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You got it. And for everybody listening today, I hope that you have found some place, people, something in your life where you can take what you've learned and you're going to pay it forward. You're going to inspire somebody today. You're going to educate somebody today. You're going to be maybe a physical support or emotional support for somebody today. Just one person, you can make a huge difference. Thank you for everybody listening. The entire Living Full Out family thanks you for listening. We have Rich and Gio and Alyssa and Caleb and just on and on and on. Everybody is dedicated to bringing you inspirational guests and, of course, time for callers to reach out to get motivation. Remember to go to livingfullout.com. Grab that 80 tips to bring balance into your life. Also, go to our radio page to listen to the 24-hour radio station or download an episode if you want to hear it again. Or check us out on social media. However we can help you in your Living Full Out journey. Here's to all of you living full out.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.